good word of advice is to get there 10 minutes before your boss does, and don't be afraid to stay around with a broom for 10 minutes after he leaves. It's part of the job, but it'll get you into bigger places later down the track. It's 4 years of your life, but you're getting paid for it, so you can't really go too wrong.
Welcome to Building Perspective, the Master Builders SA podcast. I'm your host, Frogley. Join me as I speak with some characters in the building and construction industry.
Master Builders Insurance Brokers is where the building and construction industry goes for specialist advice. We know the right insurance cover is essential to the success of builders of all sizes. And we're here to help you understand, select and manage the right cover for your business. How do you know you've got the right cover? You trust the industry specialists.
Have you ever wanted to be a tradie? Well, if you have, today's episode of Building Perspective is a must for you, because I'm here today with the 2022 Master Builders SA Apprentice of the Year, Matt Fuller. Matt, great to have you with us.
Thank you, Will. How are you doing?
Really good, mate. It's fantastic to see you here, and it was only a couple of weeks ago you were crowned the Apprentice of the Year in front of more than 1,300 people at the convention centre. How did that feel?
I was, yeah. It was an unbelievable experience. Never something that I thought would come true, and here I am today. So it's quite remarkable.
Well, full credit to you, mate, because there's a lot of construction apprentices in South Australia. So for you to be named the best of the best, that is a remarkable achievement. So I hope you celebrated it in good style.
I did. A few quiet drinks, I'll say, but it was good. It was nice with a lot of close friends were there. Family was all there to support me, and everyone from the company. So it was nice. It was a good night.
Fantastic. And you've got a very bright future ahead of you, and we're certainly excited to see where you go in the years ahead. There's a lot of people probably viewing this podcast who are interested in becoming a tradie or working in the industry. How did you get started?
I'm pretty sure I just seen a post on Facebook. Master Builders were looking for apprentices, decided to apply. I knew that carpentry was something I always wanted to do. There was no doubt about that. So yeah, I applied, successfully got in, and I've worked my way through an apprenticeship now to become third-year apprentice here today.
That's fantastic, and it's a great career to get into at the moment because there's such a big shortage of people in our industry, and because of that, there's great pay opportunities for those who get into our industry. So, yeah, it's going to be very exciting to see where you go, mate.
It is. It's a long journey ahead now. This is just the beginning, but I'm definitely keen. I'm excited, and I'm ready for it.
We're always hiring new apprentices at Master Builders. Sometimes we have as many as 30 or 40 positions on the go at once. So, there's a lot of great opportunities for young people and some not so young people who might be watching this. So you just saw an advertisement and gave them a call?
Yeah, it was just popped up on Facebook. It was the right time for me. I was at the back end of year 12 in school. I applied online, I think, just sent somewhat of a resume through. It wasn't too spectacular, wasn't too much on it. Got invited in, did a pre-vop course, and then successfully started my apprenticeship.
That's great. It's a career that I think doesn't suit everyone. It's an industry that requires a lot of really hard work, but it's also an industry where the rewards are definitely there if you do a good job. So you came in for an interview, and how soon, how long did it take from when you applied to when you actually got out on site?
From memory, it was a pretty quick turnaround. I was lucky enough with the course I did before. I went through, did a few accredited certificate courses. So I got a few licenses, first aid course, that sort of thing, and then did a 2-week trial with a host. He liked me somewhat enough to want me there, and I think ended up being about 4 or 5 weeks, and I was on my feet away, first year apprentice.
And so you were with the same host that you did the trial with? You stayed with them for a while, was that right?
I stayed with that one guy for a few months, and then I moved into a guy named Adam Sheikey, first fix carpenter. I was there for just over 12 months, and then moved into second fix carpentry. And now I work for Lend-Lease. I've been there since about April this year, junior foreman for them.
Yeah, congratulations. And I think your journey is a really good example of the benefits of doing an apprenticeship through Master Builders because of the variety of host employees you've had to, I guess, learn the trade from a variety of different angles.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I knew I always wanted to do first fix. That was That was certain for me, but to have the opportunity to try out second fix, which I ended up enjoying quite a bit, and now working as a foreman, I never thought it'd actually be possible, and it is, and wouldn't change a thing now.
And you're obviously in the commercial space now with Lend-Lease. Did you work for a residential host or a commercial host prior to that?
No, I was with two residential hosts, so this is my first commercial gig, and it's definitely 10 out of 10.
And how have you found the difference between working on a resi site compared to a commercial site?
For me, I enjoy the commercial side a lot more. I think it's just a bigger sort of environment. There's a lot more to learn, different perspectives. So I'm actually learning a lot more than just carpentry. It's the entire build sort of process, which is, for me, it's a big thing. It's every day something new.
I think it's a great example of our program and the industry as a whole, because regardless of your individual, I guess, priorities or what you enjoy, there's a spot for you regardless. If you like working on a residential site, there's definitely opportunities for you there. And if you like working on the biggest projects in the state, there's plenty of opportunities for you there as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, there's nothing saying that if I woke up tomorrow and wasn't enjoying what I could do, ring up Doug and say, hey, mate, I want to go back to residential, and that's the good thing about Master Builders is if you want to change, it's just a phone call away.
That's right. So Doug, for those who are listening at home, Doug is one of our excellent field officers. Can you just explain, how your relationship was with our field officers and how that all works at Master Builders?
So when you first start, you're placed under a host. Doug was mine. Quite supportive right in the beginning. Get you out on your feet, come and see you every couple of weeks, make sure you're okay. And now 3 years later, I'm still with Doug, and I'd almost call him a friend. He's a great guy. He's always there for you. If I needed him at 7 o'clock at night, I could give him a ring and he'd answer, "What's up, Matt? You need anything? You're right." It's a good relationship that he provides with not only myself, but everyone.
Doug is an excellent operator. We get really good reports about him from not only the host employers, but the apprentices as well, because I think he's got the credibility and he understands the industry. He was a former apprentice himself. He's a carpenter that's worked on some big jobs in the state. So he's also got, I think, a really good personality in that he's humble, down to earth, but he genuinely wants to see the kids do well.
Well, that's right, and that's the biggest thing for me with Doug is he was actually my doorway into Lend-Lease. I think previously to Master Builders, Doug worked for Lend-Lease, so they ended up giving him a ring and saying, "G'day, mate, you got any apprentices?" And luck has it, there was me looking for a job and I got in. So without Doug, I don't actually think I'd be where I am today. So I actually can't thank him enough.
I'm sure I'd be absolutely thrilled to hear you say that, mate, because I know Doug well and I know how much he genuinely cares for all our apprentices. He really wants to see them be the best they can be and get into a really well-paid, great industry. So yeah. I'm sure I'd be absolutely chuffed to hear that.
Oh, absolutely. I hope so. It's nice when he comes out for a site visit as well because he gets to see some old friends and share a laugh. So it's best of both worlds, I think.
I think what we see with a lot of young people is that they're very nervous when they start the job, but no one expects them to know everything on day one. I think sometimes some of our apprentices put a bit too much pressure on themselves when they start. How did you find, was it an easy transition to working in the industry or did it take a while for you to find your feet?
I always enjoyed working with my hands. So I was excited, I was keen, ready to go, but I will never forget my first 1 or 2 months. I was extremely nervous. Every day was, what am I going to do today? Because I had no idea. I had no idea how to build a house, but I was with a crew of about 4 or 5 blokes. So if you ever needed anything, it was just, hey, can you show me how to do this? And that was a good thing. It's people are out there to take the time and show you how to do things properly rather than just, go get it done. It's good. It's never-ending support from a wide variety of people.
We're really proud that Master Builders' completion rate for our apprenticeship program's pretty much the best going around, and there's some good reasons for that. I think we've got really good host employers who really know their craft and genuinely care and want the apprentice to be the best they can be. And then also we pride ourselves on hiring, good apprentices with the right work ethic and attitude. And that's certainly something why we'd really recommend anyone listening to this to come try our program because it does get really good results.
Yeah, no doubt. It's not only myself. I actually have 2 mates from school that are also with Master Builders, started the same time as me. They've both worked with a couple of different hosts here and there, and now they've finally found their feet and enjoying what they do. So it's a really good opportunity for anyone out there. And it's not only carpentry, there's a wide variety of trades as well through Master Builders.
I think if you've got a good attitude, a good work ethic, and you take pride in what you do, there's a very good chance you're going to be highly successful. And mate, I remember bumping into you at Adelaide Airport about 6 months ago, probably now, or maybe not even that long ago. But you had your Master Builders hat on, and you were definitely up for a chat. And it was very obvious to me then how much you really enjoyed your work. It seems like you genuinely love what you're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't change it for a thing. I do. I love what I do now, and it's a foreman sort of role where I am now. It's something that I always wanted to do. I knew that, but carpentry was my doorway in. I looked at going to uni. I looked at studying through that course, but it just never appealed to me. I thought, you're thrown out on site with 4 years of study behind you, whereas going through your trade, you're out there managing, supervising, and you've got that basic sort of knowledge behind you. So I thought it's a lot better opportunity, and it's worked out well. I never actually saw myself being in this position this young, but definitely wouldn't change it at all.
It's really an excellent career to get into. The work's rewarding. The pay can be very, very high. For some reason, it's still not really promoted in schools as the way we think it should be. When you're in high school, were apprentices given the, respect that they deserve, or was there just a really big push for everyone to go to uni?
I think it depends what school you go to. Where I went there was a bit more of a push to go to the sporting sort of side and academic. There wasn't a great push for apprentices.
And what school was that at, mate?
I was at Trinity College.
Yep.
But all things aside, they were really good. So they put me through my Certificate 2 and partial Certificate 3. They send you out with work placements and stuff. But joining Master Builders was separate to school. So that was something I did on my own accord. But there's still definitely plenty of opportunities to go through an apprenticeship and do what you can through school.
An area we see as a rich catchment area for tradies is definitely sporting clubs, like footy clubs and stuff like that. And with the Master Builders Born to Build program, which we're very proud to be delivering over the next 4 years in conjunction with the state government, we're having field officers with a trade background going to not only schools but sporting clubs, career nights, career expos, etc., with our members who have been success stories, who've come from a trade background and are now running successful businesses. Is that the kind of thing you think we really need in the industry?
Oh, definitely 100%. I think a big thing is younger generation people talking to someone with real life experiences, whether they're young, old, whatnot. I think it's really beneficial to that. I was lucky enough to have my family growing up around trades. My dad was a cabinet maker, my granddad, my mum's partner all worked in the trade. So I had a lot of people around me to help sort of form who I am and what sort of role I wanted to work into. So I was lucky in that sense.
And you're our Apprentice of the Year. What advice would you give for either current apprentices or people who are just about to start their journey? What does it take to be successful, do you think, in our industry?
You just got to give it a go. You can't hold back. I think that's probably the biggest thing I have to say. Carpentry was something I always ummed and ahed about. I knew it was going to be carpentry, but I didn't know if I was going to be any good at it. So I just jumped right in, and obviously I'm somewhat good at it to get Apprentice of the Year. But I mean, even if you don't like it, that's the good thing about Master Builders. It's just phone call away, say, hey, can I try something new? And it's, yeah, no worries. Give us a couple of days, a couple of weeks, and we'll find something for you. So you're not stuck. That's the big thing. There's a lot of different opportunities.
Spot on, mate. We're such a big industry, and there's the right fit for any number of people. Everyone doesn't have to be put into the same box, and I think that's why our program works so well, is that it is reflective of the industry in that there are so many opportunities. It really comes down to you as an individual. I think, our host employers certainly value kids with the right work ethic, that rock up on time with a good attitude. It really goes a long way. And if you do that, I really think the world's your oyster.
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, a good word of advice is to get there 10 minutes before your boss does, and don't be afraid to stay around with a broom for 10 minutes after he leaves. It's part of the job, but it'll get you into bigger places later down the track. It's 4 years of your life, but you're getting paid for it. So you can't really go too wrong.
That's right. Those one percenters, I guess I'd call them. You do those little things, they can make a big difference over time. And definitely, you're getting paid to learn. Whereas if you're at uni, you're actually racking up a pretty big debt, which you've got to pay off at some point. So, if you the pay obviously is quite small compared with what you'll end up in later years, but you're being paid to learn. And if you stick with it and have your eyes on the prize of where you want to be 10, 20, 30 years time, you can really set yourself up.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, it's not the greatest pay in the world, let's be honest, but it's apprenticeship wages. It is what it is. But at the end of the day, it's take-home cash. You're not really paying off a HECS debt through uni. You're only paying for, general sort of costs, even trade school and everything. It's all funded for. So it's nothing on top of your standard day-to-day life that is necessarily paid for.
I totally get it because when I was 18, I certainly wasn't thinking 10, 20, 30 years down the track. I was thinking, what was happening this week or this weekend. Yeah. But my biggest piece of advice to anyone watching this is if you can think of the long game and you're prepared to do the work, you're going to be very happy in the years to come, and you really set yourself up for a good life.
Yeah, you do. And I mean, money's money, but it all comes back eventually. So don't be afraid to spend it.
So where are you looking to go, I guess, in the years ahead? Where would you like to be in the industry? What are your ambitions, mate?
For me now, obviously working as junior foreman, that's a massive tick in the box. It's come a lot earlier in life than what I pictured it happening 3 years ago when I first started my apprenticeship. So obviously now I just want to work on that, maybe get into running one of my own sort of jobs, and then site management is the end goal for me for now. Once I get there, there might be the next sort of big step, but in the foreseeable future, that's where I aim to go.
And tell everyone a bit about the job you're working on at the moment and what that entails and everything about that.
So I'm at the RAF base, Edinburgh, working for Lend-Lease, junior foreman. So I overlook a number of different trades, internal fit out, structure, that entitles, plumbers, electricians, mechanicals. So it's a lot of different things other than just carpentry. Commercial side of it, there's no timber frames. There's no cladding on like the outside of a building, to nail on with a nail gun. So it's a different world, but I think that's why I enjoy it so much. The knowledge is just a lot broader than residential. But again, depends on who you are and what you're looking for.
And what does it feel like, when the job finishes and you can look at it and think, I was a really big part of that? I mean, how rewarding is that?
Oh, that's the biggest thing. I used to, when a job was finished, there's nothing wrong with standing back for an extra 10 minutes and just looking at what you've done, admiring it. And people joke about it, but it's quite satisfying driving down the street saying, I built that house.
Absolutely.
It's a good feeling.
I think that's without doubt one of the best things about our industry is you can really see the work that is done. And, that is a really rewarding sense. I built that stadium. I built that house. I built that hospital. It's really impressive when you think about it.
Yeah, it's a nice contribution. Like someone's actually living in that house, like, that building's being used for something. Like you're not just working at McDonald's or doing something like that. You're actually playing a part in somebody's life or a company's sort of progression. It's satisfying.
Absolutely. So I guess what's been the most challenging part? We've covered some of the positives. What have been the most challenging parts of being an apprentice in the industry?
There's different stages. When I first started, the biggest thing was those early starts. It was cold on some mornings.
And just how early were those starts for some who might be not aware of how early you have to get up in our industry?
Well, I was on site at about 7:45, 10 to 7. That was working in residential. Now at Lend-Lease, I start at about 6:15. So It's even earlier again, but I don't mind the early starts now. It's only in winter when it's cold. That's probably the biggest thing is adapting to the weather, but it's some of the hours can be long, but you get used to it. It might take a couple of weeks, a month or two, but you adapt to it. And it's, you've really adapted when it's 7:00 on a Saturday morning and you wake up, no sleep-ins anymore.
But you've just gotten used to it over time and it just feels like second nature now?
Yeah, that's right. It's just part of day-to-day life.
I mean, you mentioned Doug. Who else has been a really big positive influence for you in your journey to date? Anyone you might want to thank or anything like that?
Yeah, of course. Mum and Dad, both massive influences. Obviously, they shaped me to be the person I am today. People at Lend-Lease now, Brenton Clark, who's the now site manager. He took me under his wing, and he's really trained me and shown me everything so far that I need to know. So a big thanks goes out to him. Everyone at Edinburgh really has helped, but solely to Brenton. I couldn't have done it without him. So,
and it can't be all work and no play. What do you like to do when in your free time?
I like getting away, full driving, camping, seeing different sites, travelling around. So,
which particular regions of South Australia do you like?
My favourite place so far would be Coffin Bay, Port Lincoln.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a drive.
I used to live in Port Lincoln, and Coffin Bay was my favourite. The Coffin Bay National Park, outstanding, mate.
Absolutely. You could spend a week there and you wouldn't be upset.
Yeah, good pick, mate. Good pick.
Yeah, I love it.
Well, Matt, thanks again for coming in today, mate, and congratulations again on being a Master Builders Apprentice of the Year for 2022. Mate, I think it's a credit to your good attitude. I think you've got a really bright future ahead of you, mate, and we were all really excited to see where you go in the years ahead.
Yeah, thanks, Will. Thanks for having me in today. It really does mean a lot. Thanks, everyone from Master Builders. I wouldn't be where I am today without the support and help. Yeah, no, it's been a good journey through Master Builders, and I wouldn't change it. I'm glad I've stuck with it, and almost at the end now, looking towards the back end of my apprenticeship. So I'm sure we'll keep in touch.
Of course we will, mate, and the whole team's very proud of you, mate, for your accomplishments. So well done.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks for joining me on Building Perspective. For more information on Master Builders or our guests, please visit our website at mbasa.com.au.